call this meeting of the Grafton IT Committee to order at 7 o'clock on February 5th, 2025. Begin with a roll call of the members. Amar Clark,
Here.
Bob Carroll,
Yeah, Bob's here.
Bob Hassinger,
I'm here.
and I'm pretty sure Dave Robbins is here too.
Looks that way.
So, following our agenda, our first agenda item, as always, is public input. We do not have any Zoom attendees, but if any of the four of us has anything to bring to the committee's attention that would qualify as public input, now would be the time.
So, did you guys get the email I sent about the
Mm-hmm.
protocol?
Yes,
Yeah. So that would just be one thing. Was it clear? Did you understand what I was getting at?
I understood it.
Okay. And
Oh, for the encrypted communications, HTTPS for the website.
yeah,
Yes, I understood that.
right. And the fact that I didn't do an exhaustive test, but I just happened to notice if you sign up for the alerts, right? All the alerts come through and they're all the links embedded in there are all HTTP. So
Mm.
I would venture to say that that's probably something we should bring to the attention of our local website administrator. That would be William.
So moved.
It's safe to say we should bring that to the attention of William and Evan, and between the two of them, I mean, Evan will surely delegate the follow-up on that to, William or whoever else might need to be involved. But yes,
right. I'm sure it's either they embedded the links in there in that manner or there's a setting or something, so it's probably just a configuration thing. And
Yeah, it's got to be a setting because the website works just fine with HTTPS.
Right. And if you look at, did you guys subscribe to those? Do you get those?
I get some of them, yes.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
yep.
Right. So if you look in ones that try to find one. Oh. Yeah, so the ones I got for the IT committee, and it's coming out of the listserv at civicplus.com for IT committee minutes. In that notification, I can share my screen and show you, but it, trust me, it's there. They're all just straight HTTP, so it may be the subsystem or whatever they're using for this listserv to push these things out. That's probably where I would go to start.
I think that's unacceptable.
Yes.
No, for anybody who's keeps track of, watch out on the web. Watch out for what's going on.
Well, it certainly does not, make us come off as professionals, right, for a town, and it doesn't have the polish and fit and finish that it should. It's kind of an amateurish.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, these days you should expect pretty much everything to be HTTPS.
right.
And generally there's a set, on a website you can set it so that it'll redirect HTTP queries to HTTPS, right? So it'll just flip it over automatically.
But these are coming from the source.
The listserv, yeah.
Because it's embedded in the email as such.
Yeah, so that's the issue is the links. I mean, you could also explore whether links on the website are consistently HTTPS, but they pretty much should be, since the website itself, you start out as HTTPS. But it's
I poked around a little bit and it looks like the website's fine.
Yeah, it's
if you just navigate around there, but these and I did look up the cert and they have a valid cert, so that's good.
It's right. It's the links that they send out, their automated emails that you see an issue with.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and yes, I would expect that the system, the Civic Plus system, should be perfectly capable of sending all those out as HTTPS.
If they aren't, then we should have a different service.
Yeah, that by any modern day thinking, and this is not new to this year, this has been the thinking for at least several years now, that if you can't do HTTPS, or if you don't do HTTPS consistently, that's really, bad form.
Well, at least.
Whatever you want to call it, yes.
Yeah.
So shall we vote to take this up as an emergency item since it wasn't anticipated? And then we can make a motion to address this concern to the town administrator.
I think I just heard a motion.
You did.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded that this topic be taken up as an emergency item. Was not reasonably anticipated by the chair in time for put on the agenda. Any discussion of the motion? Hearing none. Mr. Hassinger,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Carol's eye.
Mr. Robbins votes aye.
Okay, I move that the chair communicate this to the town administrator.
And
Second.
William.
Or William. It should go to William, right?
No, communicate it to the town administrator and William.
So moved and seconded. Who did I hear second? I think maybe Amar and Bob Carroll both were competing to get the second.
I think Amar seconded.
All right, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Hassinger,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Carroll,
Carol's eye.
Mr. Robbins votes aye. Motion carried unanimously. I will forward this communication tomorrow to the town administrator and staff. Any other public input? Hearing none. Next agenda item is an update from the town administrator. I did ask Evan if he had anything for us tonight. He said he wouldn't be able to attend the meeting. The one thing he wanted to call to our attention is he said the dual multi-factor authentication is complete.
Excellent.
He didn't have anything else for us, but he thought we should know that. And unfortunately, if we had questions about it, we can't ask him tonight.
Does anyone here have an account
No.
on
No.
any resources? No, so we can't verify that independently.
That, as far as I know, none of us have an account with the town. All righty. So our next agenda item is IT policy. I had asked William if he could come to the meeting tonight because at our last meeting, Evan did say that he wanted to kind of let William take the lead on the policy work from his office's perspective, and had a brief communication with William. He's kind of wondering what we're planning to do. Yeah, but he wasn't able to make the
Talk to
meeting.
him.
But yeah, I did tell William I'd touch base with him after our meeting, so we can talk about it. So we'd been kind of assuming that Evan had some specific ideas about where he wanted to go with this, and Evan really hasn't had anything concrete to bring to us in our last few discussions. William is just, Evan passed this off to William without really any input to William as to what William would ask us to do. So we're in a position now, I think we can follow up on some of our previous discussions over the last couple of years. I think the last time we had any really substantive discussion with this, looking back in my records and my minutes here, was about a little over a year ago, December 2023, we had some discussion at our meeting then, at which my notes say that Evan's kind of priorities were to review and update existing IT related policies and to, start planning, doing some infrastrucyou inventory and planning for updates and evolution. So where we're at with, and I know, Evan had provided that SharePoint, and Evan and I know Bob Carroll, you've uploaded some stuff there. A lot of example policies. And looking at the existing Grafton policies, we basically have one computer information and resources policy from last updated September of 2021. And that was updated. We have in my records from our past IT committee work, I have a version of that from like 2007. So the 2021 version is somewhat of an update. We also have a social media policy, which arguably is sort of IT related, and we see that in some of the collections of example policies include social media. I do not know whether the town's personnel handbook, I'm pretty sure Evan has said he has a personnel handbook, but I couldn't find it online, so I do not know whether that contains any IT related policies that are sort of specific to town staff. But in any case, so we're kind of we have a starting point of sorts with that current computer and information resources policy. And that document, I don't know if anybody's read it recently. I just refreshed my memory on it in preparation for this meeting, but that document covers several distinct policy topics. Responsibilities of the town administrator, responsibilities of departments, responsibilities of users, prohibited activities, security, security topics for the TA and for the employees, malware, shared resources, and wireless access points. So I'm kind of guessing that to move this work forward, we can start by looking at that, looking for portions of that could either be updated or expanded upon. We might want to consider whether that document really should be several policy documents. Evan had posted a collection of policy documents from the town of Groton, and where they cover a lot of the same territory, but it's in separate policy documents. And I don't know, it's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but I suspect from one point of view, it's nice to have everything in one document so you can just read through it. But also, the larger the document is and the more topics it covers, the harder it might be to find what you're looking for in that document. So there's also an argument to be made for separate policy documents. And I don't know which way, I haven't given it enough thought to even have a suggestion as to which way I would go. But in any case, there are several policy items within that document, and probably a good starting point for us is to read through that and make some recommendations for mainly policy areas, policy details in there that need to be brought up to date, need to be expanded upon, and at the same time we can at least identify some policy topics that are not currently covered but ultimately should be. I know Bob Carroll, you had posted an Excel sheet with a list of a whole bunch of policy topics.
So is the one you're talking about, David, is that in the OneDrive? Because I'm poking around in there, I don't see it.
Yeah, the town policy, that's on the town webpage.
Oh, not in the OneDrive.
Right, it's not in the OneDrive. It's on the town webpage. You find it when you go to the select board's page. There's a link to policies.
Okay.
And so that's where to find it. I'm not expecting, since we're just sort of trying to kick the work into gear here. I wasn't expecting that we would go through any of that tonight, but at least we can sort of come to some agreement as to how we want to proceed through this, since we're not getting the more specific guidance from the town administrator's office that I was kind of hoping he would have some more some more detailed ideas of where he wants to go with it. But it's kind of been thrown back into our lap. So and we can't, for all the policy work that we've discussed, all the topics that we've discussed in past meetings about things that perhaps ought to be addressed. We can't tackle it all at once, but we do have to start somewhere. So it was my thought that we could start with that existing policy document and look at what's in there and what needs to be revised and improved, expanded, and at least identify additional topics. You can't work on it all at once, but ultimately I'm sure we want to get more documentation nailed down for all the topic areas that we think are important.
So if I may, David.
You may.
So I think that's good place to start. And with that, I do see in the OneDrive that from 2009, which is now, ancient history, right? There is a 5-year IT plan.
Yes.
So I would propose either at the same time before, I mean, we can decide the phasing of this, but there should be, a 5-year plan, right? Either flushed out, blown out, or at least a straw man, right? Of where we're going to go, right? How the policies fit in, and set that strategy, kind of like a enterprise architecture or a strategy document, and then the plans and all this other stuff kind of then fits in, right, to there. Because without setting that overall where we're going kind of thing, right, then we're kind of shotgunning and piecemealing. But we can certainly have at the policies. I think, if we review the ones that are out there, and I'll go grab them. I can throw them up in the OneDrive, so everything's in one place. If I'm thinking I still have write access and I can load stuff up, but we'll see. But that would be my suggestion.
Yep. Yeah, that 2009 plan, I didn't look at it in a whole
From
lot of
Suburban Group. What?
Yes,
I vaguely remember them.
I do remember it. I remember when Pete Carlson was doing
Right.
the work for, he was basically the IT contractor for the town at the time.
Was that Pete, the Suburban Group?
Yes, that was Pete Carlson.
Oh, okay.
I think it
So
was
that's-
something like half time,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep. But yeah, I remember he put together that 5-year plan, and of course, the details are surely, that's now in 2009, that's now 16 years ago. So a lot has changed since then. But yes, if we have, if we can be talking about sort of, some sort of an updated, at least a rough outline of a 5-year plan to give us to help set some directions and set
Right.
some that would be worthwhile.
Yeah, things like replacement, rotation, right, obsolescence, the policy piece, cloud versus on-prem, all that stuff, right? Discussions of all the kind of the high level items. And I know Evan talked about replacement of the servers, right? How that fits in. And in here, there's a lot of cost data. I'm looking at it, and specifics around the environment. Obviously, I don't think that belongs in here, right? We just need the kind of the top level tasks or the top level discussion items, and then a couple of bullets, and that's probably good enough, right? 6 or 8 pages, done.
Yep.
Good. And
I remember, Evan had said something to the effect of that he kind of thinks he has a fairly good handle on some components of that, like desktop and laptop, replacement cycles and server upgrading, But
Right.
I also remember Evan saying that there are some other elements that ought to be in a 5-year plan that he really hasn't, got a good handle on yet.
So is CMD still part of this? They're still the vendor?
Yep, CMD is still, as far as
Okay.
I know.
'Cause
I
I'm
was just
sure,
reviewing our meeting from last June, for making some notes so I could get the minutes done for that. And at that time, back in June, Evan was in the process of preparing to go out for bid for IT services, and he was contemplating at the time the possibility of hiring an IT person and then farming out some of the work to CMD or some other contractor. To the best of my knowledge, well, I'm certain that he hasn't hired an IT person in-house. And so presumably he has just extended the CMD contract. I don't know whether it was a 1-year extension or a 3-year extension, but unfortunately, that's a question we can't ask Evan right at this minute. But it would be interesting to get an update. We haven't met with CMD for a while, and I don't recall that Evan has communicated to us what the current status of that contract is.
yeah. Well, I know, I think Mark left there, which is kind of the guy on point, and he was kind of their architect. I don't know if they've replaced him or what, but I'm sure, Charlie over there, Collinson, has all this stuff. Charlie Christensen.
Yep.
So, okay, well, we can bring this up again.
Yep.
I'll upload, we can talk about the specifics. I guess the biggest thing with William or whoever is going to be on point, they have to decide the framework, right? And whether they're going to have their own template, because they all got to look the same and be part of a set and a template, and then pick one or design their own, and then kind of to your point, David, whether the bits and pieces want to be in one document or they want to have individuals, right? And then the cadence and review and, blah, 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 right? How they're going to manage the whole thing.
Yep. So I guess for us going forward from tonight, we can be looking at the existing policy the town has and think about how that needs to be updated. We can think about that 5-year plan or strategy or whatever you want to call it, and sort of maybe come to the next meeting with at least an outline of what we think that should look like. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, I think we could do that. And then maybe make some recommendations as far as, what it could look like, right? To get down to like the next level below. And just the steps. Like what they need to do. They have to decide on a look and feel. They have to decide whether it's all in one. They have to decide, what the how these are going to be ratified or approved, those kinds of things.
Yep.
Who's gonna own it, manage it?
Yes, and I think one of the reasons Elvin has tossed us to William is William has been doing the bulk of the work drafting the policies.
Sure.
So, but as to the content that goes into those policies, that I think that's coming from multiple places, depending on the policy. I mean, William's not coming up with the content all his own, but he's kind of putting things together formatting the documents, writing things up in detail.
Right.
But it is my impression anyway that the substance of the policies are they're kind of expecting that to come more from us.
Yeah. Well, and there's 3 different versions of examples now in that OneDrive. So I think you could probably scrape most of that and repurpose it.
Yes, I don't think any of us thinks it's a great idea to reinvent all these wheels ourselves. I mean,
Right.
I'm more than happy to plagiarize a good document from any source I can find it.
Mhm.
And plagiarize is probably not the correct term to use here either. But
Carl,
Repurpose.
repurpose, adopt good stuff that you see from someone else has developed, and you
Yeah,
think
I think the industry term for that is leading practices or best practices.
Yes. Best
Mhm.
practices. There you go.
Adopt the best practices. Yes.
Yeah. So yes, we will propose all the best practices that we think are appropriate. But and then of course everything we propose we'll run that by William and Evan. I'm sure they would like to they would like to be included in the loop,
Yeah.
and ultimately, for the most part, the policies are formally adopted or endorsed by the select board.
Okay.
yeah,
So that should be
that's,
spelled though too.
that's a little ways off.
Yes.
Um,
Let's get them written up first.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I've lost the thread on even how to get to the OneDrive, so someone's got to send me how to find my way around that.
Yep.
I know less about this stuff than you guys do.
I rely on the link. Evan sent out an email with a link to it, and I have attempted to save that as a bookmark, but it doesn't seem to work. So I just have that email uh, preserved and flagged so I can easily find it, and I click on the link in the email.
So I
That may
can't.
be why. That may be why
So
I
can
had similar problems.
there's no board in here. I could paste in the link.
No,
Uh,
don't send it. If you're gonna
Okay.
send it to me, send it by email.
Okay. All right. 'Cause I could share it right now.
No,
Okay.
I'd have to be able to think and all that.
I think it's easier to have. I just have to click.
I'll tell you that this last week has been going through all of the town stuff, agendas and all that. Not been a good week, and I blame it on my computer. So keep it simple.
Okay. And then you get the ice and snow tomorrow. So
Yep. All right.
okay.
So
I'll send along. Um, I'm able to see them. So like I said, but I didn't poke around too much, and I don't know if I can upload stuff still anymore. But the stuff is still there, so that's good.
yep. All right.
If you're not, you and Dave maybe should communicate. Maybe Dave ask whoever, William maybe, about getting
But
access.
this came from Evan, the email, and he's the one that enabled it.
Yeah, okay, well, contact them and say, hey, not working.
Right. Okay.
We done with that?
I'm just doing
No.
yeah. I was going to check and see if I was able to upload something to that SharePoint, but I'm not going to fool around with it right now. Okay, so I think it sounds like we're all set with a path forward on the policy topic. Unless there's anything else. The next agenda item is a possible executive session, but I'm not aware of any topic.
What happened to the minutes?
Uh, that's I may have written my agenda down in the wrong order, but yeah, I've still got
I move that we approve all of the minutes that were forwarded, 7 sets.
yes.
Was it 7? I saw a bunch of them.
Yep.
A second.
Moved and seconded that all of the minutes distributed, and I will enumerate them for the video record here. January 4th, 2023, February 1st, 2023, March 1st, 2023, July 12th, 2023, November 1st, 2023, December 6th, 2023, and January 8th, 2025. Motion is to approve all of those as drafted. Any discussion of the motion? I'll just kind of as discussion of the motion, I'll just note that I had sent to the town clerk's office several minutes from 2022 and 6 of the 2023 minutes that we had already reviewed and approved, but Alan never uploaded them to the town clerk's office. Those have been sent to the town clerks and posted. And after tonight, I'll send these out. And after that, we have a few 2024 meeting minutes that I should be ready to have the committee review and approve those at our next meeting. So, any further discussion on the motion? If
Yeah,
not,
we shouldn't feel badly about how long it's been to get these in. Have you noticed what minutes the select board is releasing?
yes.
I think some of the dates may start maybe in the teens. I'm not sure about that, but it's way back.
Yep.
It's not the first time that our select board has been in that state, but it's been a long while. I remember Nancy. There was an issue with getting Nancy to do minutes
Yep.
a long time ago. Okay.
All righty. With no further discussion on the motion, Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Hassinger,
Aye.
Mr. Robbins votes aye. Motion carried unanimously. There being no
Well-
further information, no further agenda items.
I move we adjourn.
So David, when those minutes, do you upload them or do you have to send them to the clerk and they upload them?
I send them to the clerk. The clerk files them and wherever they file them, and they put them up on the web.
So they're the ones that put them in the content management. Okay.
Yep, I have no access to the content. I have no access to upload things directly to the website.
Okay.
Try again. I move the question. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded that this meeting be adjourned. The motion is not debatable. Mr. Carroll,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Hassinger,
Aye.
and Mr. Robbins votes aye. Motion carried unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you for spending this lovely evening with us, and